A problem of concern from the worldwide community is the questionable and extremist management of free use of guns that the United States of America has. Being the awesome, the great, the biggest country that their presidents and their society have claimed to be, it is so important how they manage each ambit of their society, because how they manage in their country, it's gonna affect how other countries work. In this case, we're talking how dangerous and unrespectable is the management of guns in America. Since the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the government started to worry more about the age restrictions and how that the people could have a real gun, every people could have a real gun was something to worry. Because before that age, the government just focused in adding and controlling the guns in the governmental services, like the firemen, the policemen, or the management of the firearms industry. In 1968, the gun owners needed to be 21 years old as a minimum, and they needed to pass a lot of strict exams and tests, like psychological ones. And not all the people could have guns. A lot of profiles were banished to have these guns, referring to profiles to a group of characteristics in a person. It looks awesome. The government were worrying about it. The government wanted to exclude the guns from the normal citizens. But unfortunately, in 1968, the Congress of USA passed a Firearm Owners Protection Act. And in this act, they established that the gun owners got more privilege. They got the permission to sell these guns in expositions in every state of the United States. And they made the provision of the National Registry of Dealer Records and all the inspections, meaning that the government didn't have the registration of all the guns that were sold, and the tests from the gun owners were reduced just to one by year. And the history goes on until the USA that we are living today. Unfortunately, this government doesn't worry about this topic, and we're gonna see it in the next points.
Weapon possession and its impact on popular culture. First, we must analyze what is popular culture. The term popular culture refers to the set of cultural patterns created or consumed preferably by the popular classes, working against an academic culture in means of expression traditionally valued as superior and generally more elitist and exclusive. With this in mind, we must analyze, can the possession of weapons affect or influence or impact popular culture? The answer to this question is yes, of course it does, and on a fairly high scale, since it is enough to just look at the main reasons why the population considers that the possession of weapons is a good option given the lack of security in this country. Citizens who are victims of crime have found it necessary to use a firearm to protect their assets, even their own lives or the other ones, thus causing the loss of the life of their aggressor, as happened in various occasions by the so-called anonymous avengers. Although it is true that citizens are fed up with insecurity, I believe that this should not be a pretext for them to carry firearms outside the home, since in a violent environment such as that which exists in much of the country, the crimes of homicide, if justice done by your own hand, and you cannot think of allowing the crime rate that we are experiencing to increase. Referring to the fact the term popular culture is a set of cultural patterns, we can understand that when someone knows that an individual possesses a weapon, they feel threatened, and this, from my point of view, affects society in their way of seeing things, and feel even more insecure and threatened, not only on the streets but also in a place closer to them, without their realizing it. In conclusion, the possession of weapons is something that can affect popular culture thanks to all the consequences that the simple fact of possessing their use and possession brings, as well as the insecurity that it brings to citizens.
Let's talk about The impact in our society. They have their cons and pros. First, let's talk about the cons. The use of weapons makes that all the society be in danger. Why? Because we don't know if the people have it want to use them for something bad or something good. This type of violence is a daily tragedy that affects the life of all the people in the world. Around 500 people die every day because of this. Most of the time, the victims have several consequences that affect their mental and physical health and also their life. Another bad thing is the arms trafficking. Since 2004, in Mexico had been localized more than 60,000 weapons that were made in USA. This violence affects all the people, but in some circumstances, this violence affects only colored people, women, and a group of people. In the other hand, in the good side, the countries that use arms have less cause of crimes. While most of the people think that with the use of arms they can combat crimes. For example, in the USA, the number of suicides are less than in other countries. A lot of people agree that the government and some institutions didn't do what they have to do, so the society feel unprotected, and with this use they wanted to feel more safe, and if some circumstances happen they can be prepared to protect their family. Another point is that the people think that the criminals think more time before they do the crime, because now the people are prepared if something happens.
With the easy access to weapons in the United States, their limited use is not only for adults. We're talking about the risk of their use and handling by children and adolescents. That's why so many situations and very delicate, such as the shootings in schools, have arisen. There are many examples, as one in 1998 in Arkansas, where Andrew Golden of 11 years and Mitchell Johnson of 13 activated the fire alarms and guided all the people to the playground. They shot, and the result of this was 4 girls and a teacher killed, with 10 people more injured. They were arrested and sentenced to prison until the majority of age. Another one is the most, but very most known, is the Columbine High School massacre. It was in 1999, where Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold used homemade bombs, and they shot to everybody, and 21 students and a teacher were injured. 12 students and a teacher were killed. After that event, both committed suicide. According to the CNN, in 2018, they published an article about the number of school shootings. Unfortunately, the results of this analysis was in a period of time since January 1st of 2009 till May 21st of 2018. In this period of time, 288 shootings were recorded only in the United States. Unfortunately, this quantity is 57 times more than all G7 countries. We're talking about Canada, we're talking about Germany, France, United Kingdom, Italy, and Japan. Since this kind of events are happening on September 2019, the Sandy Hook Promise organization released a video which shows how much vulnerable are the students and in this kind of events. And not only that, organization have made a plan to survive. One of them is the Thousand University, which made a video and uploaded, calling it Just Another Day: How to Survive an Active Shooting Active.
But why you can carry weapons in the United States? Well, this is because a long time ago there was a law that was approved and in order to keep the social order. This is because a long time ago there was a big increase of criminality, and they think, why, how can we keep these in criminality cases low? Well, we are going to make a law that makes some people that has a serial of quest can carry weapons to self-defense. That's why they can carry a weapon. But through that time to this time, it's considered into the American people like a tradition, because that law started like a law, and it like for them are like a tradition. In conclusion, in the United States, it is possible to carry a weapon as long as you have the basic requirements to carry them. Because when you have a weapon, you are not only putting in risk your own life; you are putting in risk the others people's life. That's why you need to pass a serial of quests to prove that you are mentally healthy. Because if you, like I said before, if you don't have these basic requirements, you can hurt other people and you and yourself. So these basically requirements are psychology test and physical test, because it is not only the physical that matters in when we are talking about weapons. It is your mind too, because you can be a psychopath or a sociopath, I don't know, and you can hurt other people. That's why in order to keep the social order, there are some restrict limits that you can't overpass, because those weapons that are legal to carry have a legal limit to use for their use.